What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of SpeedSim. My name is Andre.
And I'm E-House.
And today we're going to be talking to you about HPA tapping your gas blowback rifle or even pistol. And just the advantages and disadvantages, pros and cons, whatever you want to, call it.
Basically why he does it, but I don't do it.
Right. Because he doesn't even have a rig, so he can't even do it if he wanted to.
I know.
Alright, so to kick it off, pros, one of the major two pros are its efficiency. So you have every single time that BB comes out of that barrel, it's always at whatever 300 FPS, let's say, and you can play it in any weather climates, be it summer or winter or in between. Those are the two major.
Those are obviously
convincing pieces of.
Well, that's just the physics of the system,
right?
Because when you have an HPA tank, it's a much larger capacity tank, so. Also on some platforms like, say, a 1911, where you don't have a big gas capacity, obviously it's not a problem on high kappas, but you may be able to run that with a tapped magazine and actually empty the whole magazine every single time, because guess what? You've got this massive, great big air tank fueling that pretty tiny magazine.
Yeah.
So there's that, and then the consistency of the PSI, like you mentioned. And that's just because high pressure air in that kind of tank is going to work a lot better in a lot of different climates. And it's going to be way more consistent than a tiny little reservoir of green gas or propane.
Yeah, and we're not going to get into this, but different metals do different things.
Also true.
Yes.
That's part of why the Pro-Win magazines are so good.
Exactly. We have a video on that if you want to check it out. Links right here. I'm going to make you do work.
All right, continuing onward. But that also comes with
drawbacks.
Couple of drawbacks, and this is why I don't do it. The one drawback, big drawback, is anytime you want to reload, I'm not going to even bother hooking this up. Anytime you want to reload, you have to unhook from the magazine that is in your pistol, or if you've taken out your pistol, then you have to change to your next magazine, rehook, and then you can continue to shoot. For me, I like reloading, speed reloading or admin reloading without that extra step, so I don't run that. I just run my CO2 1911 if I want to run in a colder temperature, which, works, but I'll probably do a review of that gun pretty soon here just to talk about pros and cons of that. Then the other thing with HPA tapping your magazines is you do still have a hose. And, it's one thing to have a hose on a rifle that's usually retained you with a sling, but personally for me, I don't like pistol lanyards even. Like a lot of people run pistol lanyards to secure their handgun to them. Hate them. I can't stand them. So for me, having a hose on a handgun would just be kind of like, I don't know. It bothers me for some reason, but that's a very personal preference type of thing, because while I say this in terms of weapons handling, there are some drawbacks. You can't argue the physics. Speaking in terms of physics, HPA tapping your magazines is the way you're going to get the best performance out of your magazines. That is an inarguable fact. So while I can say I don't personally care for it because of the drawbacks I just mentioned, it is an inarguable fact that I am sacrificing potential performance.
Big props though to CGB Russian, who he runs HPA, but he doesn't do anything weird like tapazines or box mags or anything like that. He just goes strictly all regular standard cap magazines or the 50 rounders when he uses the high kappas. His reloads. I have seen his reloads. He is very quick.
Very good with them, but that is a lot of practice.
A lot of practice.
Yeah, no,
so definitely big props to him.
Yeah, mad respect to anyone who can reload those quickly. Yes. I can't because I'm lazy.
Okay.
But that also ties into one of the other pros of HPA tapping your magazines is you can do crazy weird stuff.
Right.
Like the tapazines, the drum magazine that you can see he has hooked up in here right now.
It's crazy. I love it. It's just, for me, going into a situation and playing, I don't have to worry about bringing but like a bunch of mags with me at once. So if I want to run standard cast, or regular magazine 23 rounders, I have to grab 4 plus on the 5th one for the gun, and then you have to reload, and then your only limit to was like 140, 60 rounds at you at one time. Not enough. It really isn't, if you really come down and think. Some people love it, which is totally fine, or even the 50 rounders, but personally, I just grab one system, my tank, my box mag, and 1 mag in the gun, that's all I need. I mean, that's perfect. Going out there and playing with it, you don't have to worry about anything. You go back to your respawns, fill it back up, and you're ready to go for the next round.
And that ties into one of the things that we're starting to see, because we did mention gas blowback rifles right near the beginning. Not many people run HPA tapped gas blowback standard caps, but what we're starting to see more of
a lot of
box mags. Because, unfortunately, the gas blowback market has suffered from a lack of support weapon options.
Yep.
And now we're starting to see where people are like, wait a minute, if we use this HPA tapping, then we can have it where we have, you know, say a replica of a Magpul D60 that you can put in a WEM4.
Yep.
And all of a sudden you have support weapon options for the gas blowback market, which is awesome. That's really cool.
Another drawback that I actually just thought about, when you do HPA tap your pistol, there is more maintenance that goes into maintaining your gas blowback pistol. Because HPA is a dry air, it dries out your internal. So you gotta really regularly maintain it. What I do, personally, is the night before I go out and play, I lube everything up. I don't do any cleaning or anything like that. I just, take a little Q-tips and just real quick go over with some murder oil. And then when I get home the following day at night, I strip everything down and I clean it and then I re-lube it.
But you also have to do that if you're running propane, because propane is such a dirty gas.
Right.
So basically, if you're running anything other than green gas, it's going to be a lot more maintenance intensive. But even with green gas, you're really supposed to clean the weapons regularly.
You need to. You still have to clean your gas blowback pistol regardless. But just, it's another...
Especially if you're running CO2.
And HPA. It's very dry. It'll dry everything out. So you got to regularly maintain it. With green gas... You don't necessarily have to go to the extremes with HPA or dry gases, but you still need to do it like once a week, I would say, with green gas. Right, so that's very fair.
Well, if you play once a week.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, like you go out for like a weekend or something.
Yeah, no, totally.
Yeah.
The point stands basically before and after every time you use it.
Right.
Make sure it's cleaned and lubed.
Right.
So
those are the thing you got to worry about if you decide to go the HPA route. It's a very dry gas. You got to regularly maintain it.
Yeah. But I mean... So, other than that, really, though, you've got the extra magazine options that are really cool that you can do with HPA that you can't do with gas and mag systems.
Yep.
You've got the raw performance of it, of the consistency and the ability to, hold all this gas in this one system to make sure you're always emptying your mags.
Yep.
But those are two really big pros.
Right. And especially if you love your Tokyo Marui pistols, and let's say you haven't, let's say an M&P, for instance, and it's not finding slides is not the easiest thing to come by. Running HPA, you can bring it down to duster gas levels what the Tokyo Maruis are meant for. You'll have no problems with the slide breaking. It'll last a longer time than it would with green gas, which we mentioned on our previous videos about banning HPA or whatever. Green gas runs at 120 psi, which will break the slide in about 6 to a year.
Yeah, so you could definitely run your Tokyo Marui or plastic slide gun a lot longer if you're running it at, say, 80 or 90 psi.
Yeah, 90 is a little much, but
85. You're the expert. I'm trusting your opinion.
85 is what duster gas is regulated at.
That's actually that's a really good point too. So
yeah, so there's a lot of pros, and again, there are some cons. The reloading. It's a dry gas, you got to regularly maintain it. Mm-hmm. And just the overall having that line that he doesn't like.
Yeah, some people don't like the line, some people don't care.
Right.
I know I'm a stickler.
There's some people that I've seen that don't like the line as a point to when they buy the tapped Airsoft tapazines, they direct mount their regulator and tank to the magazine. So you can do that as well.
I guess you can do that.
So.
But other than that, I guess that's kind of everything there is to know. Except, again, quick shout out, CQB Russian. He makes these valves.
Fantastic.
They're the OG valves. They're the real deal.
They're the real deal, not the WE you tried to come out with. And then he does have 3 different, so it's a shameless plug for him. He does have 3 different types. There's the WE, the TM, and the KWA. They're all specific to whatever gun you're running. WE works with the Cyber gun and the Walther PPQ. It all works universally. TM is specific, and KWA is specific as well.
But the WE works with the VFC stuff.
VFC, Cyber gun, all the the weird brands.
Bit of info for you. So
So if you're thinking about HPA tapping it, CQB Russian taps are the bomb. Just screws right in from your gas valve.
See, and he didn't even have to pay us to say this.
I love his
They're
stuff.
actually good.
They're fantastic. And I buy so many of them.
I guess that's about it.
That's it.
It's a quick subject, but it's a good one. So
cool. All right, guys. Thanks for watching another episode of SpeedSim. Once again, my name is Andre.
And I'm E-House.
And thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Peace. I'm just kidding. Peace. Horns. Actual peace signs. Bullshit.